T.I.'s son, King Harris, has been arrested after not appearing in court and some other things connected.
Trying to coddle him for. Let the man walk off, have some time to himself, sit down, soak it up, and come up with what he need to do.
Him being arrested isn't really like the shocker. It's him coming out and his, I guess, reaction to it, right? Because everybody's saying, King, you grew up privileged, bro. Why are you going down this path? Now he's talking about F the police, F12. So, you know, it just, he.
The streets can't stop talking. This is the Harris family's worst nightmare come to life. And it ain't about jewelry, fame, or some flashy post online. It's about survival inside one of the coldest places on earth, prison. King Harris, son of rap legends T.I. and Tiny, is laid up in intensive care after a savage takedown that looked more like a mob-style ambush than any random fight. Word is, King got cornered right in his own block, so viciously that guards had to drag his battered body out as chaos turned the tier into a full-on war zone. His face swollen, body barely moving. This wasn't just some prison scuffle. It was a straight-up setup. Whispers say the whole thing was plotted weeks in advance, designed to humble him for flashing wealth and privilege in a place.
Steve Sadar reached out to me looking to make a deal on behalf of T.I. and Tiny. And I told Steve Sadar that my clients want justice. So if the deal involves Tiny and T.I. turning themselves in and admitting to the crime that they've committed, then fine, we got a deal. But if it does not, then I would prefer to have the investigators do their work and to bring criminal charges against Tiny and T.I.
Where none of that matters. Others claim it was payback, cold and calculated, with every move planned down to the second. Inside Georgia's prison walls, respect doesn't come from who your parents are or how many followers you got. It comes from loyalty and toughness, period. As one ex-inmate put it, weakness makes you pray. And right now, King Harris is learning that brutal lesson in the hardest way imaginable. The second the story broke, the internet exploded like dynamite. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, every platform flooded with shock, outrage, and nonstop rumors.
So the dynamics here are interesting, but I can't judge how the parenting has gone, because everything that we've seen has been stuff that many of us would have said or similar if we saw our children do this. But I will say this, a lot of what's happening is because it's in the public. Like most children don't have to do this in the public.
Some folks were sending real prayers for King's recovery, while others threw shade, posting, King finally met the real world and couldn't handle it. The divide online was ruthless. And all that noise only turned up the heat on the Harris household. Insiders say the family is in full-blown panic mode. T.I., the man known for controlling every room, reportedly hasn't slept a minute since the attack. Word is he's been glued to his phone, hitting up attorneys, politicians.
I wouldn't have been able to do that if it wasn't for Family Hustle. Right. That does come with some, you know, it's some adversity. It's some adversity to come with that. People get in your bed.
And anybody with juice inside Georgia's prison system, one Atlanta insider even claimed T.I. is ready to write checks, sign NDAS, make backroom promises, whatever it takes to keep his son alive before another hit gets greenlit. Meanwhile, Tiny's running her own war room, calling in publicists, media allies, and top lawyers like she's managing a crisis campaign. But whispers say even their strong front is cracking under the pressure. Behind closed doors, arguments are explosive, with both parents pointing fingers, blaming each other for how their son ended up in this mess to begin with. Close friends say it's
I graduated. That's the only good thing they posted of me going viral. I'm not on the media's good side. I don't know why, but it ain't
clear if T.I. and Tiny are fighting for King's survival or just fighting each other. Either way, their son's life is hanging by a thread. And the once untouchable Harris dynasty looks like it's unraveling fast. This ain't about TV ratings, sold-out tours, or family pride anymore. This is about survival. And what twists the knife even deeper are the rumors ripping through the streets. Word is, King's beatdown wasn't random at all. It was fallout from a contraband deal gone bad. Some say he refused to play ball. Others say he tried to finesse the wrong crew, and in prison, that's basically a death sentence. Behind those walls, loyalty is currency, and one slip can put a target on your back instantly. Insiders claim King was set up, lured into a corner where 3 men were waiting to pounce. And here's the part that's got everyone side-eyeing. The surveillance cameras mysteriously went dark the second the attack went down. Georgia's Department of Corrections is swearing it was no glitch, but nobody's buying that fairy tale. As one of T.Y.'s old road managers put it, it's Georgia. Cameras break when they need to break. That's the kind of dirty truth folks believe. Meanwhile, King's condition stays shaky, and the Harris household is boiling over with pressure. Fans haven't forgotten the messy family drama leading up to this either. Like that viral Falcons game clip where T.I. was caught on IG Live putting King in a headlock after another heated clash about his lifestyle. The whole world saw him screaming, and now those ghosts are coming back loud. "You're embarrassing yourself and your family!" That was T.I.'s furious scream at that Falcons game, while security struggled to pull them apart and Tiny rushed in to calm things down. Back then, people thought that was King's rock bottom moment, but this ambush shows the bottom can sink even lower. Now, with King fighting for his life in a hospital bed and the Harris family's dirty laundry splashed across the internet, that Falcons game looks less like a scandal and more like a warning shot for the storm they're trapped in today. Prison insiders say King wasn't just attacked for his last name. He was humiliated with cruel taunts about his parents' darkest scandals. Those old trafficking allegations.
You can, you know what I'm saying, kind of woo-saw yourself outside of the public opinion. I really admire his dedication and commitment to the craft, because, you know, I kind of told him, you know, what was wrong about it.
Making mistakes. I ain't had no daddy who'll pull up and get on my ass anytime. Things I did, you can't get away with.
I know that.
Man, damn. Yeah, that's I ain't see that one coming. You know
Really?
what I mean? Nah, I didn't.
Tied to T.I. and Tiny, claims they denied from day one never faded from the public memory. And behind bars, gossip turns into deadly ammo. King only made it worse, flexing on social media even while locked up, calling out rivals and hyping himself as Atlanta's next superstar. But the veterans inside weren't buying the act. As one ex-inmate put it, "We don't care who your daddy is. If you don't pay what you owe, or you run your mouth, you get handled." And now King is paying that price in blood. Meanwhile, T.I. is burning every bridge and pulling every string he's got left. Sources claim he's threatened to go public with exposés on prison conditions, while at the same time feeding stories to friendly outlets to shift the blame off King and onto the system itself. It's straight up celebrity crisis management in overdrive. But with threats still circling every hour, the question hanging in the air is chilling. Is it already too late to save him? And deeper than that, was King raised to feel so untouchable that reality had no choice but to smack him down harder than anyone imagined? The whispers aren't slowing. They're spreading like wildfire. Inside those prison corridors, talk is King didn't just get jumped. He might have crossed the wrong crew in a way that can't be undone. Word is, a contraband deal was in motion, and King either backed out or tried to play slick against real power players. And in a world where survival is everything, that's the same as signing your own death warrant. Even darker, King's name allegedly showed up in a contraband ledger tied to a broken promise. And in prison, broken promises don't just cost you respect, they get cashed out in blood. But the rabbit hole goes deeper, because this isn't only about contraband. Some say his last name itself has become a curse. The Harris family has always drawn heavy attention in Georgia's prisons, but this time that spotlight turned toxic. Those old trafficking allegations, denied by T.I. and Tiny but never forgotten, still hover like a shadow, and King couldn't outrun it. Other inmates reportedly mocked him, calling him soft, taunting that the same scandals haunting his parents now painted a target on his back. Add his loud, flashy persona, acting like the star of the yard, and resentment stacked up like dynamite just waiting for a match. For some of the older inmates, this wasn't even personal anymore. It was symbolic. One correctional officer even admitted off the record that high-profile inmates like King are just pawns in somebody else's power game. And now, King might be paying the ultimate price for being that pawn. Behind bars, a celebrity is never just another inmate. He's a trophy, a bargaining chip, a walking target. As one former Georgia inmate put it, you take out the star, you control the stage. And that might be exactly what went down with King Harris. Meanwhile, inside the Harris home, the storm is ripping T.I. and Tiny apart. Sources say their arguments are explosive, Tiny blaming the broken prison system and shady outside influences, while T.I. insists the only way out is discipline, pressure, and pulling every connection he's ever built. Tiny wants to paint King as the victim of a corrupt system, but T.I. is all about power plays, political pressure, and high-stakes phone calls. That divide isn't just shaking their marriage, it's putting the whole Harris empire under the harshest spotlight it's ever faced. One insider didn't hold back. This is worse than the lawsuits, worse than the reality TV fallout. This is the ugliest crisis they've ever faced, and the more they scramble, the messier the fallout gets. Even family and friends are split. Some warn that blasting the prison system will only put a bigger target on King's back. Others argue that staying silent looks like surrender, and the Harris name can't afford to look weak. Meanwhile, every leak, every anonymous tip, every whisper from a guard just keeps throwing gasoline on the blaze. Social media is already on fire. Fans are dragging up old scandals, dusty lawsuits, and now this bloody ambush, painting a picture uglier than the Harris family ever imagined. And let's be real, this ain't King's first brush with drama. Folks haven't forgotten his wild online antics, calling out rivals, flashing stacks of cash, and crowning himself Atlanta's next wild card. On the outside, it looked like entertainment, but inside prison, that same bravado made him a target the second he walked in. Reports say inmates mocked him nonstop, laughing that he played gangster when everyone knew he grew up cushioned by fame, cameras, and bodyguards. To them, King wasn't dangerous. He was a spectacle, and eventually, a liability. And in prison, psychological warfare is just as deadly as fists. Every rumor, every side-eye, every whispered threat becomes the first move in a setup. With King's privileged upbringing, common knowledge, private schools, reality TV, high-priced lawyers, he glowed like a neon target in the dark yard. Some hated him outright, others felt insulted by his tough guy act, and a few saw him as the perfect pawn in their own power games. Either way, King's celebrity turned on him. His fame became both the weapon and the downfall. And now, outside those prison walls, the Harris empire is cracking under the weight of it all. Even the other kids are being pulled into the storm, caught up in messy paternity whispers and old disputes that were supposed to stay buried. The line between private heartbreak and public scandal is gone, and suddenly everything's spilling wide open. The Harris family doesn't control the story anymore. The story controls them. The same spotlight that once built their empire is now ripping it apart, and the emotional toll is crushing. This isn't about a canceled TV show, a lawsuit, or a viral embarrassment. This is about their son's life and the family's entire legacy hanging by a thread. Every headline makes the danger sharper, every whisper of betrayal cuts deeper, and every public statement feels like a gamble that could blow up in their faces. For years, the Harris brand thrived on attention, but now that spotlight feels toxic, dripping like poison on an open wound. And here's the cold reality. The justice system doesn't bend for fame. It doesn't care how many hits T.I. sold or how many seasons the Harris clan dominated reality TV. Behind prison walls, celebrity doesn't protect you. It exposes you. It turns you into a bargaining chip, a pawn, a walking headline waiting to be taken down. For King Harris, that last name that once felt like a crown is now a curse threatening his survival. This ambush wasn't just some random prison fight. It feels like the opening chapter of a saga darker than anyone imagined. And the haunting questions won't stop. Is King paying the price for arrogance? Or is there a deeper plot at play? Contraband gone wrong? Enemies pulling strings in the shadows? And a broken system that set him up to fail before he even had a chance to grow? One thing's for sure, the Harris dynasty is standing on a knife's edge, and the whole world is glued to every second of it. This storm is nowhere near over, and if you want the full breakdowns as it unravels, make sure you hit that like, share, and subscribe. Because what's coming next could be even darker. Right now, questions hang over the family like storm clouds ready to burst. Some say it's karma, others whisper conspiracy, and a few call it destiny, the unmasking of a dynasty built on fame, money, and controversy. But one fact can't be denied. King Harris has become the face of a brutal reality check. Behind those prison walls, there are no edits, no filters, no security team in the shadows. It's pure survival. Every move judged, every slip punished, and every wrong deal cashed out in blood. And now the Harris name isn't just rattled, it's shaking the culture itself. Fans, critics, and insiders are all asking the same thing. Is this the downfall of a legacy or the start of a redemption arc nobody saw coming? Is King a victim of a broken system, or did his own choices paint the target on his back? And could this ambush just be the first act, foreshadowing even darker secrets waiting to spill out and rip the Harris empire apart for good? This saga is far from finished, and the next chapter is already on the horizon. Drop your thoughts below. Let us know what you think. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because trust me, you do not want to miss what comes next.